Yes, people, salams, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well and in good health. If you are new here, please do subscribe. Get all the best in the latest economic stuff. You got budgeting, saving money, politics, all the good stuff here. So make sure you do subscribe. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at how to budget and save money. A good guide. So the best guide here. Okay, so managing money, well, is one of the most important life skills you can develop. Unfortunately, we weren't really taught about this too much in school. So a lot of people have financial illiteracy and they're not, too clued up about saving money, how to make money, how to invest money, all the different elements related to money. And a lot of people, including myself, have struggled with this over the years. And it took a lot of self education to better understand and learn how to actually deal with money. So, in terms of somebody who wants to might be saving for big purchases, working towards more semi-passive income, passive income, financial freedom, or just wants to live within their means, learning how to budget and save effectively can transform your finances, your money, your bank account. The good news is that anyone can do it with the right mindset and strategies, and you have to put in time. Go read literature. There's a multitude of books out there where you can learn about money, investing, saving principles to better increase your knowledge and understand the topic. So here's a basic guide to help us go through. So let's take a look here. Start with your income and expenses. So look at the foundation of any basic budget. You need to know how much money you make, where you spend it, where does it go. So basic thing is you could use a spreadsheet to detail this, or you can write it down for your monthly income from all the sources that you have. For example, if you work a full-time job, part-time job, side hustle, then list your expenses. So you got like Wi-Fi costs, food, transport, gas, energy, water bills, subscriptions to any streaming services, other kinds of extras like clothes or treats that you might have during the month. So get them listed. Track every pound that you can. That'll give you a good idea of what you're earning and what you're spending. And then this clarity can be eye-opening once you do it, because then you can better understand actual figures and see them in front of you. And that's when you realize, the penny drops that, look, yeah, this is what needs to be done. This is how much I'm actually spending. Oh, I didn't realize that. Sometimes you get surprises. You might be thinking, yeah, I'm only spending so much, but you might find that you're spending a lot more. So the only way to kind of like work that out is actually making a record and writing that down, so you better understand. So going on to number 2, so separate needs from wants. So once you know your spending patterns, divide them into 2 categories. So essentials, so what you need to survive, non-essentials like perks, extra luxuries, and so on. Essentials are basic things like paying your rent for your housing, food, grocery shopping, the bills that you have to pay such as energy, water, gas, so on. Non-essential things are like going out to a restaurant, going out with friends, streaming services, that kind of stuff. Just buying, stuff from the supermarket shelf that you don't need, just for the fun of it and so on. So being honest with yourself about which expenses truly matter can help you cut back on unnecessary spending without feeling deprived. So you can actually label and list in the order of importance, so then what's important to you in terms of non-essentials and what's not important. So it'll be a bit easier to get rid of things that you don't need. Okay. Then it goes on to say set realistic financial goals. So budgeting is much easier when you have a reason behind it. So do you want to pay off a debt, build an emergency fund, save for a vacation, save up for a car, a house, deposit, so on. So having those proper clear aspirations and goals with your budget purpose keeps you motivated to keep pushing and keep recording and so on. So basically break big goals into smaller milestones incrementally, so then you can have an easier vision of actually achieving it, rather than just looking at one big goal that might seem far off. So for example, instead of aiming to save 5,000, you can all at once, you can focus on doing it over 10 months by 500 at a time. That is a good example there of one way to reach your target. Okay, so number 4, use the 50-30-20 rule. Simple budgeting method, a lot of people use is 50-30-20. So allocate 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings or debt repayment. Obviously, you can change those figures, have more towards savings, more towards investments, and then less towards unnecessary needs, and then some towards necessary needs, and so on. And once you get this balanced approach right, cover your necessity, cover your basics, as Maslow hierarchy of needs talks about in the lower stages. You gotta have your food, your rent, your warmth, and all that taken care of. Then you can start looking at improving your lifestyle and making progress towards financial security at the same time. And then obviously just change the percentage now based upon your lifestyle and your personal context in terms of your personal finance. Okay, so 5, building an emergency fund. I didn't realize this when I was younger, but having an emergency fund is useful, because I remember at one time I looked at my bank account and I had less than £100 in the account. So pretty much dead broke. So you don't realize when you're spending. So it's a good idea to put aside a small portion of your monthly budget for the emergency fund. For example, you could be putting down 5%. So if you're making £1,000 a month, maybe 50 quid. Or if you're making £1,000 a month, you want to do 10%, so it could be £100. Put that aside on a monthly basis, and in a year you'll have over £1,000 there, and build that up over time. Obviously, you can increase that based upon your personal circumstances, your personal income and wealth. And then having an emergency fund, if things go wrong, for example, work is never really guaranteed 9 to 5. So if you lose your job for some reason, the company goes bust, bankrupt, goes out of business, you might be out of a job. So basically, you need to have some money there so that will last you, for example, 6 months of your basic living needs. Having that emergency fund there can give you that contingency plan in case of an emergency, so you can get through and then find something else to build your income back up over time. Okay, and you can even put that into a separate bank account, so it's easier to navigate your cash. So you can have one for savings, one for expenses, one for investments, like that. So starting small with the 20, 30, 40, 50 a week, a month is small amounts will help you get going, and that's the main thing. The fact is that you do get going and get moving with that. Having that safety net will prevent you from relying on dangerous things like credit cards or loans during tough times. People do use credit cards, but if you use it in the wrong way, you could be suffering from high rates of interest, riba, so that will cause you a lot of problems in terms of paying back. So payback loans, the payback terms with very high interest rates. So in the Islamic faith, interest is called riba. It's totally banned, so you shouldn't be involved in that, and there's a good reason for that. Simple, that once you get involved in that, you could end up in large amounts of debt that you struggle to pay. Okay, so number 6, automate your savings. One of the easiest ways to save consistently is to make it automatic. So nowadays you've got all these technological tools. So the technology, the apps has advanced greatly. So you can set up direct debits, direct transfers from your own bank account or via an app, and you can put in, like, for example, £20 a month or whatever it is, £30 a month. So that's automated, so you don't have, even if you forget, at least it automatically get done, so you don't miss a payment. So treat these savings like any other bill, so you must pay each month. So you basically make sure that you've got that mindset that you've got to do it. By making it automated, you remove the temptation to spend first and save later. So then finally, looking at reviewing and adjusting regularly. So a budget isn't static. You can change it as things evolve, your personal financial circumstances, your personal finances, depending on where you are in your life at the moment, in terms of the local economy, in terms of the jobs market, your own employment, the money that's coming into your account on a regular basis. So all these things are contextualized for you as an individual. So you got to work out if your budget needs to be, changed, adapted, evolved, moved up, down, depending on where you are in your life. You can review your budget on a weekly, monthly basis, fortnightly basis, or quarterly basis, as you like. So look for areas, try to identify patterns where you're overspending, spending on things that you might not necessarily need, that you first initially thought you did, and celebrate small wins, and don't get discouraged by any kind of setbacks, Being flexible, being able to move and adaptable is the key here as well. Okay, so budgeting and saving money, it doesn't mean you got to live with constant restrictions. Main thing is that you gain control of your own personal finance and the finances, and you become financially literate if you're not already. Best way to do is find the relevant books out there that talk about money, classics and stuff. For example, Richest Man in Babylon, we did do a book review on that on the channel, so you can check that out on the video section, The Richest Man in Babylon. So by tracking your income, setting goals, cutting unnecessary expenses, and building habits like automation, you're going to set yourself up to win, and that's where you want to be. Don't surround yourself with negative individuals. Surround yourself with people who are on a similar kind of aspiration, similar mindset, and over time, small changes compound into potentially big results. So that's what you want, and that will eventually help you potentially reach better financial goals. Maybe even financial freedom over a period of time. You don't get rich overnight. It takes a long, drawn out period of time, but constant action over time will help you move towards that goal. Okay, people, do let us know in the comment section below what you think about budgeting. Are you budgeting right now? Are you saving money? Share your tips and any experiences that you had in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel for more great content. Support our work by clicking the join button for a small monthly fee that will help us produce more great videos like this for your benefit. Okay, people, catch you on the next one.